responsibly. One of those brave senators, Kansas Senator Jerry Moran. He's a member of the Senate Committee on Appropriations, joins us now. Senator, welcome to the Glenn Beck program. Nice to meet you, sir.
Judge, good to be back with you. Thank you for the opportunity.
Thank you. What is the latest, Senator? I gather that the vote has been put off again, that there's a Republican measure on the floor, a Democratic measure on the floor, and the Senate's not going to vote on it now until tomorrow. Is that the case?
The expectation was there may have been a vote this evening. It now appears that that's carried over until Tuesday morning. And the expectation is that there will be two proposals. One, what you call the paltry $61 billion reduction, H.R. 1, sent to us in the Senate by the House of Representatives.
Right.
And then the even more paltry $6 billion cut suggested by President Obama and Democrat leaders in the Senate. And there'll be a vote on each one of those. My guess is that neither one of them will receive the 60 votes necessary to move forward. And then we're once again back to negotiations with, I suppose, Democrat leaders and perhaps the White House.
Oh, boy. 60 votes necessary because somebody is filibustering each of these things and forcing the supermajority, right?
It will require a supermajority for this bill to proceed. And so I think even Senator Reid has said that his version of $6 billion of reductions doesn't get 60 votes. I would guess that all or nearly all, each Republican of the Senate will vote for the Senate version of H.R. 1, the $61 billion reduction.
Right.
But it will not, that's 47 votes at best, not 60. The question is, are there any Democrats who will vote for these cuts?
Right. Senator Moran, I know you're relatively new to the Senate and perhaps not yet into the ways of government and the arcane procedures that are followed in that house of the Congress. But does it seem to you, as it does to me, that very few members of Congress take seriously the problem of debt and the problem of spending more money than you take in? And very few members of Congress, I think you're one of them. Senator Rand Paul is one. His father, Congressman Ron Paul, is one. Senator Mike Lee is one. But very few realize that drastic measures are needed to say, stop. No more borrowing. We elected you to spend money based on what you collect in taxes. If you can't do this, Mr. President, get another job.
Judge, this is the issue of my generation. We have participated in the run-up of this tremendous amount of debt. There's been virtually no fiscal discipline. The end result of telling people yes over a long period of time in Republican and Democrat days has resulted in the deficit and national debt that you described in your opening statement. This is the issue, and I think it's important for us to understand. I want Americans to understand this is not just a typical philosophical academic discussion about Republicans versus Democrats, liberals versus conservatives. The outcome of this debate determines whether or not there is a future for American citizens, for our kids and grandkids, but also for us. What people, I think, need to understand is if we don't get the deficit under control, it's going to happen in a much more dramatic way. The standard of living will be diminished as a result of rising interest rates, increasing inflation, and uncertainty in the business community about whether they should ever invest in America again. And so I think sometimes we just look at Washington, D.C., and Americans think, oh, that's just Republicans and Democrats talking one more time about an issue they don't agree upon. Well, there is some truth to that, but it's much more significant than just a normal political fight. This is about the future of our country, the standard of living that Americans can enjoy today, and whether or not there is an American dream to be lived by our kids and grandkids.
Right, you're exactly right. The government will totally disillusion generations of young people if it spends today and makes those generations, some of them not even born yet, pay for the spending. Before I let you go, Senator, pretty soon every member of the Congress will be forced to vote yes or no on a very simple question. Shall the government be permitted to raise the debt limit? Shall it be permitted to borrow more money? Will Senator Moran of Kansas vote against that?
I will, unless there is dramatic, significant change in the amount of money we spend and in the structure by which we spend that money into the future. This can't be a Band-Aid. It's got to be a structural change that reigns in Congress today and for generations to come.
Got it. Senator Jerry Moran, Republican of Kansas. A pleasure meeting you, sir. Thanks for joining us on the show.
My pleasure, sir. Thank you.
Shifting our attention